All right, episode 5, Under the Chin podcast. The boys have just flown back in from California. I stayed here. I've been in Pennsylvania the whole time. We're rocking and rolling. Hey, I got some good news. Those of you who tuned in for our last episode, when Hector and I were tossing together some picks, there weren't any props, and on every single pick, I just kept repeating myself, saying, "I wish there were props. I wish there were props." Well, my wish was kind of granted. We got props on the last four fights, I think. So the main event and the three fights before it got props on FanDuel. None of the others got it yet. I guess this just has to do with it being the first card of the year. Before I go into some of my prop picks, Abe, you weren't able to join us when we were making our picks. Did you have anything you wanted to touch upon before we get into some of these props?
Are we starting this for the card on Saturday or are we doing 311?
We could do both. I
Okay.
have props. There are no props for 311 so far, at least from what I've seen.
So on DraftKings there are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on the inferior product, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So DraftKings, let's see. Man, I deleted the props. Hold on. Give me a second here. You guys can shoot on with yours and I'll just jump in.
Well, I got a four-legger of the four fights that got props. This is the parlay that I would be most eager to take. It's pretty simple. We got Austin Bashi to finish the fight. We got Cesar Almeida by KO, and the Curtis Blades versus Roman Kopylov fight, and the Amanda Hebos versus Mackenzie Dern fight to go the distance. Four legs plus 2043, bet 25, win 510. That's my idea of a nice four-legger. And those were the only fights that actually there was the Ponzinibbio fight also had props, I think, but I wasn't really comfortable taking any of them. You see anything else you like, Hector, while Abe's looking at what he's got?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I wrote it down, but I'm looking for the text.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
And make sure
I
you send that line in the group
Oh
text
I
yeah.
there.
got I got a five leg.
All right.
It's Nurulo Aliev. I got Marco Tulio.
That's a
I
good
got
pick.
Uros Medic. I got Almeida, and I got Rivas, and that's it.
Amanda. Wow. Well, look at the traitor.
She won the first fight though.
Yeah, but Mackenzie Dern is Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, but she's been getting her ass beat
Do we see a finish
left and
happening in
right.
that fight? Because my one of my legs is
Nah,
that fight goes the distance. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping we don't get a finish.
I
But
don't
I mean,
see it. I don't see a finish, dude. If
I
it
think
does, it'll be a
yeah.
submission.
yeah.
I don't know. Didn't Mackenzie just got finished by Jessica Andrade? Like
Well, her last
That
fight
was a
she
submission,
beat
though.
Whoopi
viciously?
Godinez,
Okay, okay.
but it
Damn, she
was
beat
by
Loopy.
decision. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
liked
When was
Whoopi. Well,
the
I still like her.
when was the Jessica Andrade fight? Was it? It wasn't too long ago.
It might have been 2023. I don't think it
Was
was
it?
last year.
I can't remember the last time Andrade fought.
Well, didn't she? Wasn't her last fight Aaron Blanchfield or?
Let me see.
Okay, so Andrade's last fight, she lost to Natalia Silva in September of last year. Beat Marina Rodriguez and Mackenzie Dern back to back. But then before that was on a three-fight skid, which, man, she fought Aaron Blanchfield February of 2023. I'm losing it.
She got
And
fed to a
then,
beast.
yeah, and then she lost to Yan Xiaonan and Tatiana Suarez, three really
Yeah.
good fighters. She got finished in all those fights too. Um,
And
but then
she
Mackenzie Dern did TKO her in November of 2023, which is not something, I mean, that's not something you'd
Yeah,
expect to see.
Jessica Andrade TKO Mackenzie.
Or yeah,
Am I
yeah, yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
bad. No, yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
forgot. I'm
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at her list. Yeah, good,
I was
good,
about to
good call
say,
there.
yeah,
Good
'cause
call there.
I can't even imagine Mackenzie getting a
Yeah, that's why it
KO.
didn't make sense in
Yeah.
my
KO'd.
head. And yeah, no, I was completely
Yeah,
wrong.
I remember she got whooped in that fight.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. She got totally dominated. And I feel like Ribas is the better striker. I mean, she's a judo practitioner, but she has really good striking. I think she's gonna be able to finish the fight in this. second
Yeah,
chapter.
yeah. I think Mackenzie on the ground is a challenge for anybody,
Mm,
regardless of their belts and jujitsu stuff. Mackenzie's a beast on the ground. It seems like all that's all she trains is how to finish people on the ground. So I
Yeah.
think uh, I think it goes to a decision. I don't
hmm
think Amanda can finish Mackenzie, but you
Yeah,
never
I
know.
don't see that. I don't see
You
that
never know.
happening.
And Mackenzie's
Yeah,
probably got drama going
I'm
on.
I'm just saying because she just got finished by Andrade, something that we didn't see in the past.
Yeah,
And that's when you start realizing like of these fighters going like down that path, you know? Like
that's when she was going through a divorce.
once they start getting finished,
Mm.
like the first time there's something in their head,
Psychological.
like Tony, like, you know.
Yeah,
I'm looking
Tony.
here right now. Amanda Hebos actually has a pretty damn near even split in terms of victories. Five decisions, but four knockouts, four subs. Now, I don't know how long ago those were. Maybe some of them were pretty early on in the regional scene, but still, finishes more fights than she doesn't. Uh,
Yeah.
but at the highest level, I just see this fight going the distance, and I think the odds were like minus 170 or something if you wanted to take that straight, which ain't bad. Minus 190. I wouldn't take that straight. But in a parlay, it's a good parlay booster.
But
I wanted to run that other
yeah.
leg by you guys. Chris Curtis, Roman Kopylov. I have that fight going the distance. What do you guys think there? Is that too risky? The odds are minus 172. So the books are saying that it is going to go the distance. But what are we thinking with that one?
Chris Curtis usually goes the distance. I'm going the distance. I just for one I can't see Chris Curtis winning.
Hmm
Um, and I'm not too familiar with Kopylov, but at a minus 258, I think there's a finish in there, and I think Curtis goes down.
Well, let me because you were right. I did base that pick in terms of it going the distance on Chris Curtis. He does have a decent amount of his wins by knockout, but I just like you said, I didn't see that happening in this fight. But then again, what the hell do I know?
He's
Um,
yep.
well, and then you know what? I'm actually maybe I might rethink this. Hold on, I might retract my parlay here because upon further investigation, Roman Kopylov, 11 of his 13 wins by knockout, no subs. Two have gone the distance, but he did in his last fight go the distance to a split decision with my other leg, Cesar Almeida, who I have winning by knockout. So yeah, I don't know, might shake this up, but just based on the props that I was given, it's just what I threw together. Abe, what do you got going on for this card or 311?
All right. See how DraftKings switched up their order here, and now it's kind of hard to see. It just gives me is fighting on 311, right?
Peyton Talbot, yeah, he's on 311.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I got strict money lines going. Uh, I'm gonna read these off. Guskov is fighting when 311
Guskov.
Yeah.
Bogdan.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah, yeah,
fighting
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Johnny Walker, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
yep.
Okay. All right. So this is I think minus Narulo Aliev
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So I think these four. I had a four leg going. I got Money Moicano,
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Talbot, Guzkov, and Grant Dawson, all
Okay.
money line. And I threw in
Yeah.
Naruto and Fatima Klein, and that's a plus
That-
325. So
So
I
are
think
you
that's
are you combining two cards on this
well, yeah. I mean,
multi-card?
I didn't mean to, but
Uh-huh.
this they got a new order going. I don't know. I haven't. It's been a while since I've been on DraftKings, and yeah, they just combined them. But if I had a choice, I would have removed the last two. But they're heavily favorites,
Uh-huh.
so toss them suckers together and thank me later.
Well, it's funny. I just brought this up to Hector on the last episode. That taking high favorite female fighters, I never think it's a good move. It's one thing with like somebody like Peyton Talbot, you want to throw him in because you think that he's basically, I mean, again, it's never a guarantee. This is fighting we're talking about, but with the skills of Peyton Talbot and the rise that he's on his opponent, all things considered, we were pretty sure he's going to win. I mean, and the last time I checked, he's minus 1100. I'd still feel more comfortable throwing that in a parlay than ever putting a women's fight of that high of a favorite in a parlay because it doesn't add much and the risk. I mean, that's what I was telling Hector was that the girl on the opposite side, Victoria Dudakova, she got bet up now to like a plus 550 or something crazy like that. I said, if you want to sprinkle on that, why the hell not? I mean, they basically have
Yeah.
the same amount of experience, and yeah, no, I could just never get down with really any odds that are that high, but especially a female fight that I just see could go either way. It's
Yeah,
just
I'm right there
made
with
for
you.
busting parlays.
I could see that. I'm usually I'm not one to bet on you know, the women's division.
Hmm.
Simply because I'm not too familiar with their careers and stuff like that. I more so, you know, when they throw it on the card and I have to sit there and watch it, I'm more like not paying attention unless we're talking like, you know, obviously like Amanda Nunes,
Mackenzie.
Mm.
Mackenzie,
Right.
well known. You start throwing um, even Loopy like before this last fight. I wasn't really like, dang, Loopy's fight. I need to go watch.
Mm.
Um, I think that I don't know, man. It's almost like a tough thing to talk about because
Yeah,
we
what
don't.
we were saying with Josh, it was that for that specific fight, why not throw like $5, $10 in the underdog, like a single bet, you know?
Dude, that would have cashed you big time.
Yes, that would
When
make
Amanda lost
Yeah.
to uh starts with a V, the
Pena.
Venezuelan Vixen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Juliana Pena.
Yeah, that was nuts
yeah.
too.
I think she
You
was a
know what?
plus 800 underdog.
I made a lot of money too in the first fight, uh Valentina Shevchenko
Alexa.
and Alexa fought.
That'd
Yeah,
be a
Yeah,
nice win.
yeah. I threw
yeah,
$10 on that one. Oh, that's
yeah,
another one like Alexa. Women like that I'll watch. Valentina I'll watch.
Right, right. Yeah.
yeah.
Holly
Hmm.
Holm. Um, but you start getting like further down the line, maybe like out of the top
Yeah.
four. I'm not watching, man.
Right. Yeah, and
You know what? I like Barber,
oh,
Macy
Macy
Barber.
Barber.
Barber, yeah.
She throws
Yeah.
down, bro.
She
She's a
does.
Yeah,
brawler.
I mean, look at
yeah.
her performance against Amanda Hebos. I mean, it was
Yeah,
a brutal showing. I mean, it got
yeah,
bloody.
I like Macy Barber. I like Aaron
yeah.
Blanchfield.
Aaron Blanchfield is a beast.
Um, that's off the top of
The
my
other
head that I
French
can't
dude,
think
the French girl,
Oh,
Ma
Manon Firo.
None.
of.
Yeah,
Fire it.
She's a
she's
beast.
good.
Fire
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
You're fire it in America.
she's a good.
yeah, yeah, man.
She's a good fighter.
You see, I'm over here contradicting myself because, dude, I can't get it. He's out of top five, man. I'm not really just sitting there. I just can't watch it.
I mean, what I think it boils down to is like overall, fighting in the women's world is just simply newer than it was in the men's world. You have like these guys like MMA's been evolving especially since the UFC started in 1993. But before like there were the women who had to like blaze the trail. And now you have this kind of this lapse in skill development. Not totally, because there are like these like we've been talking about like these girls who could bang better than anybody else in the world. Um, yeah. But I, 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 I'm
Bad
tempted to.
choice of words.
Yeah, yeah. I might cut that. So
Oh,
you have these girls who are on par, who have some of the best skills in the world, but the rest of the bunch has a lot of catching up to do. But I mean, we're seeing the evolution of the sport in real time. We're seeing these people like Peyton Talbot, who are these younger guys who are ready to compete
Yes.
with some of the best in the world, like really early on into their careers. And I think as time goes on, you're going to see more Macy Barbers. You're going to see more of those Aaron Blanchfields, these younger contenders who are ready to go with the best in the world. So, yeah, I am still not betting on a winner in the main event. I can't do it. I just
Yep.
can't.
You fully convinced me, and I'm pulling money off here
Okay.
on the women's division on the card. I'm just gonna stay away from it,
Hmm.
and we're just gonna bet just good, solid locks, man. Because with like you said in the female division or the women's division, there's no talent. It can go either way.
Mm.
Um, we seen that last time with Mackenzie. She was going through a divorce and all this
Right.
hardship, and you never know, man. I don't know if it's different with males and females as far as like going through stuff. Um, how they're able to lock that out of their head and just focus on the fight.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
there
Yeah.
has to be like a major like difference there, at least
yeah,
in
they
the
got to look
process
into
of it.
that. Yeah, they
Plus, plus the boyfriend is fucking causing a lot of drama, I think, around her.
You
'Cause
mean
he
like
wants to
that
be
the ex-husband or like her current
no, no,
boyfriend?
no, the current boyfriend. He actually fights in the UFC. He
he got
got beat
cut
up by oh yeah, he got beat up by the pirate. Shot a bullet.
Oh.
double back fist.
No, no, no.
Oh, I was gonna say
That was other guy.
Mackenzie Dern is not dating Armin Petrosian.
No, 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 no. That's the
Nah.
guy. He knocked him out by cage, like literally right on the cage. Right. It was like a
Yeah.
boom, then a body shot, and then he fell.
Yeah, I think he's fucking damaging her career as well. Like his career's shit, but she has a name, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I think he's ruining that for
So
her.
he's toxic.
Yeah, he wants to beat up everybody. He probably wants to beat us up too, because we're talking about
Yeah,
the
because
the,
he
the cheeks on Mackenzie.
when Bobby Green posted that, didn't he message him or something like that? And
Yeah.
tried to
And
fight him in person. And
yeah,
I mean, come
he
on, dude.
he just beat up Mackenzie's ex-husband too.
Oh yeah, I do
Oh
remember you saying
yeah.
Yeah,
that.
Wasn't
there's a
that at
lot
the
of fucking
gym or
drama
something?
around that guy. I don't know. I have
That's
no
crazy.
clue. But the guy just
No
it
good.
just pathetic, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
And
looking here. Is this fight this Narulo Aliev? Was he
yeah,
always supposed to? Oh no, he wasn't. I'm looking at it here.
no,
The fight with Yanal Ashmouz was canceled. Joe Selecki stepping up on short
yeah,
notice.
yeah. He
Oh
was
wait.
fighting the guy from Israel.
Oh yo, and that Swedish dude, that Andreas Gustafsson, that guy with the tattoos from the Contender Series,
Yeah, that
he's
one
not
too.
fighting
Remember?
anymore either.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think his opponent pulled out.
yeah. Preston Parsons now taking on the undefeated Jacoby Smith.
Oh,
We're
right,
going to be talking about
right.
him the next time we record. Well, I mean, it'll be in this episode, but we will be able to touch upon more about him. From what I remember, an Oklahoma State wrestler, guy heavily affiliated with DC, made a really, really awesome impression on the Contender Series. Just looked like an absolute world beater right out of the gate. So yeah, excited to delve more into him. But Hector, you said you were taking Marco Tullio against Ihor Potieria. Are we taking
Yes.
that straight, or do we got any props that
Uh,
you were looking at?
I was thinking if I was doing a parlay, I think I'm gonna do this. Look, give me 1 second.
Hmm.
I might take 1 second, 1 second. All right, found it. I might take Nurulo, Marco Tulio, Medic, Almeida, and Rivas.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be a sure bet.
Well, I'm looking. Let's see here. With this Marco Tullio guy, I'm now on DraftKings. And Abe. There are no props here, brother.
Are you
Let's
serious?
go.
I could see him.
I'm looking the Marco Tullia versus Ihor Potieria. I am not seeing I'm seeing total rounds and the money line, but I'm not seeing any
Oh,
finish
you see,
props
well,
here.
yeah, you get too far into it. You
Oh,
see,
what the hell?
yeah, I give you straight money line.
God.
I'm the safe better here. You guys are getting too carried away.
Listen, never underestimate the power of will the fight go the distance picks. I mean, you could really shop those around and have a really good night. Um Especially, I mean, some of them the odds get a little crazy. Like a lot of the women's fights, will the fight go the distance? Yes, is sometimes like a minus 300 or like
That's just
something.
it's kind of tough, dude, because I used to do fight going the distance and stuff, but like with all the judging and stuff, it's just
Mm,
you think somebody's got it locked
Yeah.
down, and as soon as you get to that third round, that fifth round, it's you're up for surprise, and
mm.
it usually never goes your way, and somebody gets cheated, and then we all lose money. So that's why it's one of those where I'm like, yeah, a little, I like to, I don't like to lose money. I don't think any of us do, but
Nope.
I like
No.
sure
Bro,
bets, man.
I just
Well,
watched Jacoby Smith celebration after knocking this dude out. He's fucking nuts. He's worse than
mhm.
fucking Johnny Walker.
Was it
What?
on the Contender Series or was it like a
Let
different
me show
fight?
you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, oh my
Oh,
God, that is how you hurt yourself.
yeah, knock yourself out like that.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah,
He's
no
crazy as
thanks.
fuck.
No thanks. Hey,
Oh Lord.
a little off topic here, but we didn't talk about this. How about Jack Shore retiring?
Oh
That kind
yeah.
of came out of nowhere, huh?
Yeah, he had a really good record, to
He
be
did.
honest. I mean, he lost to the Brazilian guy last time. Well, I don't remember his name.
I'm looking here. He lost to
Fuck.
Yusuf Zalal.
Okay.
And then before that,
I
he lost
mean,
to Joe Anderson Brito. That's who you were talking
yeah,
about.
Rito,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, Salah, he's on fire too.
Yeah, he's another guy that a lot of
Yeah,
pages are saying is going to have a big 2025. I mean, two of the
I
most
think
popular
so.
names that I see, they're Peyton Talbot and Yusuf Zalal at like the top of
Yeah,
people's lists.
yeah. He's the first fight for Ilya. He was the first fight for Ilya in the UFC, and he took him to a decision.
Yeah.
I mean, Ilya took the fight with like few days notice, but still, like that looks good.
Yeah, but when we look at Jack Shore here was 16 and 0 up until 2022, and then in July of 2022 took his first loss to Ricky Simone. Solid fighter.
That
I
dude's a
mean,
beast.
Yeah,
he is really good. So,
Is he on a
uh
skid right now?
the Landless.
let me
Yes.
see. Ricky Simone. Yeah, he's on a three-fight skid.
Yeah.
Lost
Yeah.
to Song Yadong, who is taking on Triple C. Mario Bautista, who may have, I think he took the crown from Ian Gary or Bilal Muhammad as the most hated fighter after
Oh
UFC
yeah.
300. So
Yeah.
sorry, Mario. And then his last loss, we're talking about Ricky Simone here, was to Vinicius Oliveira, who is another guy that I am so excited for this year. He's the guy who had that crazy flying knee in his debut. The guy was like kind of
Yeah.
checking out. His opponent was like kind of checking out near the end of the fight, and he showed no mercy. Ran up, flying knee, complete starch job.
Yeah.
And he's another contender series guy. So yeah,
Yes.
excited for
After
him
getting after getting completely dominated the first two rounds, remember? Or the first round, I think.
on
Because
on
the
the
other guy,
contender.
no, the that fight that he did the flying knee.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, unfortunately, Vinicius Oliveira doesn't even have a Wikipedia page yet, so I
Oh
can't
Lord.
I
You
can't
can
just
make
click the
that.
link. I
You can make
should.
that. Yeah,
I
you
should
can
He
take
make
it
fought
that.
the
upon
guy.
myself to start doing
Yeah.
Wikipedia pages for fighters that deserve them.
He'll thank you later.
Yeah, I hope so.
He fought Bernardo Sopai. He trains
Oh, okay. Yep, yep,
at
yep.
Sweden All Star.
Hmm.
He's really good and he knocked them out really a highlight.
Yeah. Yeah, so man, it's crazy how many offshoots you could go talking about one guy, but yeah, I mean, Jack Shore going 1-3 in his last four. His only win in that stretch coming against Makwan Amerikani by rear naked choke in March of 2023. I think from what I remember, he just said that he just didn't love it anymore, and he didn't love competing anymore, something like that. He said he's still gonna be involved in the sport, coaching, being involved with the gym that he was at. But I mean, retires at 29 years old with a record of 17-3. I mean, an incredibly respectful career, went undefeated for a
Yeah.
long time. Well, let's see, one, two, three, four, five. It
17.
Yeah, his first fight in the UFC was in 2019, and he went 5-0. He won his first five UFC
Yeah.
fights. That's no small feat.
He actually
Um,
beat Marab,
he beat
didn't
Merab,
he? Yeah,
not in
he
the
he
U.
put him unconscious. Yeah, like Marab was unconscious on the floor at the end of the round. I don't know if he
Are
won
we
the
talking
fight.
about Jack Shore here?
Oh no, 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 no. Nah, I'm lost. I was talking about Simone.
Oh, Ricky
Ricky.
Simone. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. I got
Yeah.
lost. I'm sorry,
No,
guys.
it's yeah, we went all over the place there. But yeah, back in 2018, it was Ricky Simone's UFC debut.
Versus
Um,
Marab, right?
yep, it was his debut against Merab. Let me see if it was Merab's. So no, it was Merab's second fight in the UFC. His debut coming against Frankie Sains. I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah,
Before my
he loves
time.
that one too.
Signs.
He went 0-2 to start his UFC career and then ripped
Yeah,
off a crazy, well, hasn't lost since. He lost to Ricky Simone. That was his last loss in 2018. So, yeah. That loss or that win rather for Ricky Simone aged quite well over the years. And then Ricky Simone,
yeah,
his first two losses in the UFC were to Uriah Faber and Rob Font in 2019. I mean, two really high level guys. Granted, Uriah Faber near the end of his career at that point. I think the last time he fought was in 2019. But still, two high level guys rips off five straight, capping that off with a win over the then undefeated Jack Shore. But then, yeah, since has gone 0-3, Song Yadong, Mario Bautista, Vinicius Oliveira. I would love to see Ricky Simone hop back on the horse here. Who do we see him fighting next?
I want to
Uh,
shout out to Uriah Faber's book here.
oh,
Little
you have
side
Uriah
note.
Faber's book.
I do.
What is
Very
it?
good book. Give me one sec. Grab it right here. It's right now. See if I can reach it with this mic. Actually, hold on. All right,
is it
you guys
like
don't. Yeah, you guys don't take me for much of a reader, huh? But
is it a Playboy?
Uriah Faber, the California Kid, the laws of the ring with
Look at that chin.
somebody. Holy moly.
I was gonna say, is it a Playboy magazine?
We might have to censor that chin on YouTube.
you might
Yeah.
have to. But it's a pretty cool book, man. I forgot when I bought this, but I was locked in, dude, highlighting stuff, and um, honestly, dude, if you're ever looking for any sort of like pick me up or anything like that, dude, this is not even joking, man, a really good book.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
I have The Way of the Fight by GSP. I haven't
Yeah.
read it, but I did read Bisping's memoir. What's
Yeah,
it called?
I
Quitters Never
watched
Win.
I watched his the movie, which is obviously based off that book.
Hmm.
Um, that was really good. I watched that on a plane. But yeah, man, this Uriah Faber book, dude, I think it was so good. I think I DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, dude, your book was fire. And he mentions like guys, um, like Jesus Christ, dude, here comes my brain again. Who's married to Megan O'Leary?
Oh,
Oh yeah, Benavides.
Joe
Benavidez,
Benavidez.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Benavidez is in this book. He gives a great story about him and how he got started. And yeah, dude, top notch book. 5 out of 5 stars. Go read it.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it was interesting reading like a fighter, like
Yeah.
learning what goes into that kind of life. And I don't know if you know this, but like Bisping almost just threw his whole career away because of a bar fight
Mm-hmm.
He got
Yep.
arrested and then originally, I forget the specifics of it, but wasn't going to be allowed to go to the United States to fight on the Ultimate Fighter, which is what eventually kicked him into stardom. Because of that legal incident, he like knocked somebody out with a head kick outside of a bar. Which, I mean, if I would pay an entire year's worth of pay-per-views just to be transported back in time to see Bisping do that in the streets of the UK, wherever he was at. Um, but yeah, I'd be interested in checking out Uriah Faber's book. When I first started watching, some of the fighters on the Contender Series were coming out of Team Alpha Male, so like I was introduced to Uriah Faber early on, understanding who he was,
Mhm.
and so yeah, that sounds like an interesting thing to check out.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, one of the first guys, like the lower weight classes, right? Who like the one of the first biggest stars in
Yeah, he was making
the
highlight
light,
reels, and
yeah, in the lighter
Hmm.
he
weight
fought at
classes.
I think he would have fought at 135, right?
Yeah, and 45
Yeah,
both.
135, 45, and then I think his last fight was at 55, and that was one he
Ah,
came out of retirement, I think.
yeah,
He fought, oh dude, I cannot remember, but he ended up getting knocked down like three times, and I think he got finished in that fight.
He
He
got
had braids
it,
in his hair.
his last fight. He got knocked out in the third round by
Yep,
Piotr Jan.
that's it.
yeah.
Yep, he fought
That
Piotr. That was his
that
last
was
fight.
35,
35?
right? Yeah,
I'm on
Okay, then never.
Wikipedia, so it doesn't say the weight.
No, Piotr fights at 35. So yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was mistaken at 55.
That's crazy though that Uriah Faber, I mean, he beat Brad Pickett and Ricky Simone and he went like in his last three fights, he
yeah,
won two of them. So uh but yeah, lost
yeah.
to Jimmy Rivera, lost to Dominic Cruz.
I've never been a fan of Dominic Cruz.
I didn't get to witness like the
Prime Dominic
yeah, prime
Cruz.
Dominic Cruz, so like I don't have that sentimental attachment, but like I recognize what's going on. You know, I've seen the highlights. I
Yeah, I
understand
mean,
he's
he fought
Like I
like a
like his trash talking though.
yeah,
he's
he's
smart.
good. He's
He's
smart,
Yeah,
very
smart. He I
smart with
feel
his
like he
trash talk.
knows how to like really razor sharp, like really
he
pick
knows
somebody apart.
Gives in
he knows
people's
how to get
heads. Yeah.
under your skin.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like slick with it. Like he could pretend like he's not pissed off, which just pisses
Yeah,
off other people. When him and DC go at it, it's like the battle of the DCs. It's
yeah.
like
You
But
guys
he's
saw
I don't know.
that interaction with Bisping? They were gonna box and
wait,
at a
Dominic
bar.
Cruz?
Yeah,
No. When
yeah,
did this
yeah,
happen?
yeah. It was I don't know. Bisping said the story. He said like that apparently Dominic wanted to fight him. They were at a bar or something, but
Well,
like Chihuahuas are really, really fierce animals.
yeah, well, I
Yeah,
guess
imagine that.
Bisping I guess learned his lesson about bar fighting, because that doesn't seem
Yeah.
exactly like a fair fight.
I'm gonna send you guys the link after this episode. Yeah. That was a good story.
All right. We are still in episode 5 of the Under the Chin podcast. We are recording the second half right here, right now. And if you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you know that that's not Abe. That is my buddy Tanner, wrestling coach. Tanner, introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? I'm famously the guy who left Josh high and dry. We were doing a podcast, and then I got a little too busy with my new job. But I'm happy to be here and talk a little bit about wrestler in my world and the UFC world. So I'm excited to get to that.
Yeah, a lot of crossover in the UFC and wrestling world. What one thing I gotta add though is this podcast would likely not exist without Tanner. He gave me like an introduction into what it could feel like to chop it up about this every week, and things happen, life gets in the way, but hey, here we are. We're back in action. So Hector, I don't know, we talked a
Sure.
little bit about this the last time we recorded, but Jacoby Smith, from what I understand, stepping in on short notice to take on Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons, 11-5, 2-3 in the UFC. has wins over Matthew Semmelsberger and Evan Elder, lost to Daniel Rodriguez, Trevin Giles, and Oban Elliott, who is killing it right now in the UFC. But and who was he originally supposed to face here? He was originally supposed to face Louis Kosi. I can't remember how to
I
say
think
his.
he was supposed to fight the guy from Sweden,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. No, I'm looking at a
Gustafsson
fight from
guy.
yes, yeah, yeah. I'm looking at a fight
Yeah.
from 2022 that got canceled. But yeah, you're right. He was supposed to fight Andreas Gustafsson off the Contender Series. That fight got canceled. Let's see. Do we have a reason? No. All right, but Jacoby Smith stepping in on short notice, but in a favorable matchup. Jacoby Smith plus, or I mean, a minus 500 favorite currently
Wow.
on the books. So even stepping in on short notice, a lot of praise from the bookies
That's
coming
what I'm
in.
talking
Tanner,
about.
what do you know
Big
about Jacoby
expectations, man.
Smith? What do you know about Jacoby Smith that you think warrants those kind of odds?
Well, he's still undefeated, isn't he?
Yep, 9-0.
9-0. And then what's the dude he's facing has what, four something losses?
Yeah, he's 11-5, 2-3 in the UFC.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go, man.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, Jacoby Smith, the last time I watched him, which was the first time I really watched him in a UFC setting, he's just a bad dude, man. You look at him, he's
Hmm.
short, stocky, ready to battle. I don't it blows my mind, dude, and we talked about this a while ago, but these wrestlers, man, they can kind of start throwing punches. It's
Hmm.
blowing my mind because wrestlers had a bad reputation where it was just all mat game, and they got the mat game, don't get me wrong. But I think other forms of fighting adapted to it, and UFC's all of them, to where
Mm.
now they're developing these punches, man. So I don't know, I just think he's deadly in all aspects of the game. So and I honestly think the higher ups at the UFC like him, so they're kind of easing him into it. That's kind of my opinion on it, which is smart. I think he's a good guy to promote.
And he's
Yeah.
the same alum is the same alum as DC, right? They both went to Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, yeah. Jacoby was two-time, or excuse me, I believe two-time NCAA qualifier, maybe three. I know he did JUCO, junior college, for a little bit before he went to Okie State, but was a one-time All-American too. And he was a bad dude back then, dude. He was one of those dudes where when you look at him, you're like, how is he in this weight class? He was always just big, so big for his weight.
Yeah, he's fighting at welterweight now. Hector, do you remember the Jacoby Smith Dana White's Contender Series fight?
I do not, bro. I just remember the celebration that we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, so he took on Christian Savoy, who was 10-1-1 at the time of, or I'm sorry, he was or yes, yeah, yeah. He was 10 9-1 and 1 or 10-1-1. Hey, hello. What's up?
Go. The water's over there. Yeah, they get like water breaks.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
you were talking about the
yeah.
Kobe guy.
Yeah, so he took on Christian Savoy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right on the Contender Series in October of 2024. So only a few months ago. Uh, Jacoby Smith was in that fight a massive minus 700 favorite. So they must have known something was up with this guy right off the bat. But like Tanner mentioned, with the striking acumen of wrestlers coming into the UFC now, he outstruck his opponent 34-3 in the first round, and then before it got stopped, it was 29-11 in the second round, and he ended up
Yeah,
getting that TKO victory off of some brutal elbows. I believe it was Mark Smith was the referee, stepped in and stopped it. But it was, as the announcer said, it was pure dominance. So what I'm excited for is here is another undefeated Dana White's Contender Series alum coming in with a great wrestling background. And Tanner, I think I remember when we talked about him on Pins and Punches that he was getting a lot of praise from DC, a lot of or what was he? He was comparing him to like, did he get the Habib comparison in terms of am I making
Ooh,
that up or
I don't know about that. I
I
mean, maybe. I don't
man.
know about that yet. Jacoby just isn't the talker yet, so I feel like he's a little under the radar for some people.
right,
Besides, like,
right.
yeah. So, Um, I don't know if that was him, dude.
I
I
forgot.
feel like I would have remembered that.
I remember DC saying something crazy. I was like, shit, well, if he's saying that, then, we're dealing with some here. What were you gonna say, Hector?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the comment Tanner said, the striking from the wrestlers. I think it's just that the opponents are just afraid of the takedown because they know the takedown is there all the time in front of them. So that's what makes them so good, man. And I think like let's not go that far, like Bo Nickel, right? Like what you see these odds, like crazy odds for a guy
Hmm.
who's 4-0. And it's just that, man. It just I think the wrestling is the perfect base for MMA, and it showed, man. It's
Hmm.
been showing like all time since the beginning. All champions, most of the champions wrestlers. And yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah. Especially the dominant ones. You look at people like DC, even John Jones, former
Yeah.
NCAA wrestler at where was he at? Where
Oh
he
wow. I don't even know. I didn't even know John Jones wrestled,
Well, he
actually.
wrestled. He
And it
was
did.
on the team with Colby Covington. That's the only reason
Right.
because like they talked about being roommates before. And where did Colby wrestle? Was it I I wanted to say Mizzou, but
Oregon?
that's Michael
No, no.
Chandler and Justin Gaethje.
No, that's
Well,
yeah, no, I keep thinking of Chandler. But to keep it rolling, like Hector said, it's really that pace. That
Yeah.
always gets brought up, and wrestlers are getting better at all of them. Oh, Iowa Central. That's where he was at.
okay, okay.
Which, yeah, they're like one of the I wouldn't say top JUCOs anymore, but they're always in like the top echelon of junior colleges all the time.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Especially because of his reputation. But yeah, no, the pace of wrestlers is just wild. And then when you start adding they can do every single aspect of the game, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree, man.
yeah, you have like every Bo Nickel fight that you see. I mean, you could see it in the opponents that they are just dreading that takedown, and it just puts them on skates. And then when he delivers that overhand and connects, I mean, it's game over. Now you had the most recent fight with Paul Craig that got a little bit of
Yeah, what'd you think of that? I didn't know if you guys talked about that yet. I didn't
we
but
didn't.
what'd you think of that fight, man? It got a lot of hate
Yeah,
in my community.
it did get a lot of hate. I don't th like here's the thing. I understand it on one hand, and on the other hand, I think it was a little unwarranted. Um, because yes, when you have that level of expectation, when you've been finishing all of your fights in minutes, you're gonna have to keep that up, or you're gonna get some heat from people. Now, the main criticism was that he was just spamming the overhand, which, watching it back, like, yes, that was the tool that he was mainly leaning on. It wasn't a striking masterclass by any stretch. But when most of your fights have been won by feigning a takedown, scaring them in that you're going to do a takedown, and then delivering the overhand right and knocking them out. I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think somebody with the level of competitor, ignoring even just fighting or wrestling specifically, the level of competitor that Bo Nickel is, he's gonna take this kind. I mean, it's a win. He still won the fight. We can't and he's fighting Paul Craig, who granted isn't in the upper echelon of talent in the
Yeah, he didn't
in
get the
the UFC.
respect. Like I only knew Craig was good because of you. And
Yeah,
then when I saw the backlash, like no one, like people were saying Paul Craig was a bum. And I was like, I was telling people facts you told me. I was like, well, actually he beat this dude.
right,
I
right,
Yeah.
was
yeah,
I was
I
stealing
mean,
stuff you were telling me.
he beat he beat Ankalaev and Hill.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
what else do you need?
Right, right. He beat a former champion, and then the guy who should be getting the next
Oh,
light heavyweight
yeah,
title shot.
Yeah.
Um,
potential future champion, right?
right, right. So that's the thing. So Paul Craig could beat champions, but he could also get knocked out by whoever. John, didn't he get knocked out by Johnny
Yeah,
Walker? So okay, there's
yeah,
there's your answer. But yeah, so I think Bo Nickel's gonna take this win. Didn't even lose. and just become better. I think he's that level of competitor. I mean, you saw what he could do in college, became one of the best collegiate wrestlers of all time. I don't know if I'm speaking out of
No, no, that's
pocket there.
pretty accurate.
Okay.
That's pretty accurate.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna see I think all things considered, I think we are going to see the next step in the evolution of Bo Nickel the next time he steps in the octagon. I think we're gonna see a massive step up in skill.
Yeah, I think he just got a good welcome to a different fan base. Like in wrestling, you never really get booed. I mean, Bo Nickel decked everyone in college.
Mm,
I mean, he had some close, don't get me wrong, but even if you do have close ones at that level, you don't get booed. There's kind of
mm,
like this level of respect. Like if anything, in wrestling, Craig would have got like applause that he put
mm.
up a fight against someone like that.
Yeah.
But then I think Bo Nickel got a good view into what UFC fans are like. Like you guys want that stuff, which I don't blame you. Like that's just where the sport is. You want to see dominance. So
Mm.
I think he kind of saw that, but he's the type of person that's just gonna make him better, really.
Right, right. Yeah, Hector, do you remember, I mean, because you've been a fan of the sport longer than I have. What was like, do you remember a wrestler that maybe, I mean, nobody's really gonna match the Bo Nickel level hype in terms of like wrestling
Right.
background, but do you remember like before like who was the Bo Nickel before Bo Nickel, if you could remember?
And Askren.
Ben Askren, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah,
did he win his debut? Because I know he
he
got a
did.
win.
Yeah, he won that
Yeah,
one, I
he
remember.
choked out Robbie Lawler, I think. Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
It was
that's
it was controversial because apparently Robbie Lawler wasn't out, but it looked like he was out because
oh, okay.
he's uh his arm wouldn't limb, and I don't know.
Hmm.
But I mean, he got his ass beat too by Robbie Lawler. Like the first seconds of the fight, he got a slam in his head, and somehow he survived and he won the fight. And then obviously we got the next fight against Game Bread, which he got destroyed, and then the next one
Yeah.
against Damian Maya, which was one of the worst performances I ever seen inside the octagon.
Yeah, I have seen that Masvidal Ben Askren knockout more times than I've
Ugh.
seen the back of my eyelids. I mean, it is
Oh
every
man.
you see it so many times on the TV.
What could have been, man, if they would have just signed him. Uh he talks about that a lot in his book, Josh. We were talking about reading off
Yeah.
air, but yeah, if the UFC would have just signed Ben Askren earlier, man, who knows what
Yeah,
could have been, but that's
Yeah.
just not
I
what we
agree.
got.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, pretty much he was in the twilight of his career when he got signed with the UFC.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I mean,
his hip was messed up,
right,
from what I've heard.
right. Plus, yeah, the hip. Plus, I mean, he's not like like usually. The older you get, the less chances you get like to win a championship.
Mm.
Except if you're like on the higher weight classes, like
Yeah.
heavyweight. But yeah, he was a welterweight, so yeah, I don't know. I didn't see him like touching that goal anytime,
Mm.
especially by the time that he got signed, right? He was
Mm.
already like 37, 38.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was ready to just go into coaching, really. I
yeah,
think he was just wanted to be in the UFC because he always wanted to be, so he got his wish, I guess.
It's kind of a
yeah,
similar thing with Michael Chandler, where it's like, what would we have seen if he got signed to the UFC earlier in his career? And then again, what would we have seen if he didn't take all this time off to fight Connor and then not fight Connor and then have Connor box Logan Paul?
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
not a fan either, but I feel like it was just so like it's still so hard to get signed, especially now with the competition level. But I
mm,
feel like there was just less opportunities like back then, I guess. I could be wrong saying that, but that's just kind of how I felt when I was younger. Like the opportunity's so small, the window.
mm. Yeah, I mean and it's a brutal like path to take because like you could I remember this one guy I think his name was TJ Laramie. He got signed off the Contender Series and then went like 0 and 3 in the UFC. Like he didn't win a fight in the UFC. Whether he
Hmm.
went 0 and 3 or 0 and 4, he didn't win. And I remember thinking like, man, like there's still career opportunities after the UFC, but it's like, man, can you imagine what it's like to make it to the pinnacle of the sport and then just lose and then that's it.
I
Like
believe
all like it just has to be such a bitter pill to swallow. But I bet you it makes bet you it boosts and bolsters the mental fortitude going through something like that.
Yeah.
But to cap off the Bo Nickel conversation, I'm looking at his record here. If you look at his first 5 fights, um, I mean they're all ending in the first round. Only one of them went past the 2 minute mark, and then you have his fourth fight, or no, I'm sorry, his third fight in the UFC against Cody Brundage was the first time that he saw a second round. And then he finished him with a rear naked choke. And then Paul Craig, he goes the full 3 rounds and gets a unanimous decision victory. That right there. Now, again, the performance, you can say what you want about the performance. That is so valuable to somebody like Bo Nickel going 3 rounds with a veteran of the sport who has beaten champions before. That is so valuable in terms of his development and just knowing like, hey, that kind of performance isn't going to win over the fans. You gotta maybe not. You might not be getting these lightning fast finishes every time, but as long as you're balling out, you already have the hype train, like all this stuff behind you. And I think I mean, I said it once, I'll say it again. I predict next time we see Bo Nickel in the octagon, it is going to be a complete evolution. We're going to see a massive step up. But this week, hey, we got Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith, I mean, just based on these odds, I think what we have here is we have not saying that he's at the level of Bo Nickel in terms of wrestling. Not very many people are. But we have a guy who the books did their research, they know he's dominant. I think we have another guy that could have Bo Nickel's success without the weight of the hype train behind him. 9-0 still pretty. It's I mean, if you have single digit fights, you're still pretty new in the sport. I mean, I think he made his professional debut in 2021, so that's 3 years ago at this point. But I think what we have here is we have a guy who can earn the hype train. He has the wrestling. He has like the books know that he's a massive favorite in these fights that he's going in, but he doesn't have that weight behind him. That Bo Nickel, when you get signed to the UFC at 2-0, mostly just based off of what you did in college, you have a lot to live up to, and he mainly did. And again, he's still undefeated. We're talking about this guy not us, but people are talking about him like he got his ass beat. Like he's still undefeated. He's still beating top tier. I mean, compared to what he had before, like these high level guys. And I hope that Jacoby Smith could just craft his own hype train, like make people uh that make people give him that kind of hype later in his career.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this for a while, just to start collecting like baseball cards of wrestlers I've been watching the NCAA finally get their shot. So it's exciting to see two, and then hopefully we get a couple more. Like I said a while ago, though, Olympic wrestling's actually starting to pay the bills. So I don't
Mm,
know if that. It's odd to me now that the trend seems to actually be picking up compared to a couple years ago when Olympic wrestling didn't pay the bills. So, but no, I love it. I mean, Oklahoma State has a good history in the UFC, oddly enough, with wrestling. So
hmm.
Johnny Hendricks too, besides DC. So yeah, I'm excited. Get another cowboy up there. We'll see. I think he's got a long way to go, but he's tough, man. He's so tough.
Yeah, especially stepping in on. I mean, because that
Was it the
Gustafson.
Contender Series? Like, oh no, I'm thinking of Pitch Dog, Pitch a Ninny
Oh yeah,
was
yeah,
short
yeah.
notice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully he gets another shot next year. He was a guy that he definitely lost the fight, but
Year of development, I think would be good
yeah,
for him.
yeah. Heck, do you remember that guy Nick Piccinini?
not a top of my head, brother.
Where did he wrestle?
He was Okie State too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
I
okay.
think him and Jacoby were on some teams together. for sure.
That has to be so crazy, like being on a team back in college, and then I wonder. I don't know if they. I don't think they were on the same episode, but same season.
Definitely. I think maybe episodes apart
Yeah,
because Piccinini's rematch or whatever or refight between those two, that was near the end. And then wasn't
yeah.
Jacoby the last one of
Well,
the
you know
season
what? Now
or
that you,
vice versa?
I
I don't know.
think, yeah, I think Jacoby Smith fought on the last episode of the year. Let me see. Oh no. Jacoby Smith was week 8. And then the Pitchman's rematch, it was week 10. Yeah, you were right.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, and then that Garulu, the guy who beat the Pitchman, that Louis Garuli. Oh no, he does not have a fight booked. I thought he
Cool.
did. Oops.
How's the rest of this card look?
Oh, you know
That
what? It's the first card of the year, so it's
Oh, really?
usually, yeah,
Okay.
it's you.
Actually, you that does make sense based on how you told me the schedule of this works in the
Hmm.
UFC.
Yeah,
But sorry, go ahead.
the thing about it is there are a lot of names on here where if you're like a fan of the sport, you're gonna want to tune in. Like people like me and Hector and Abe, like when you see names like Marco Tulio making his debut off the Contender Series,
A lot of
somebody,
Brazilians.
yeah, somebody like Jose Johnson, who, if I'm not mistaken, I think, yeah, he's a 6 foot flyweight, which
Yo.
I mean that's I
That's
mean
nuts.
we look at
He's
people
skin
like
and
Jalen
bones.
Turner, who's like Jalen Turner's like 6'3" at was he
Lightweight.
featherweight? Oh yeah, lightweight. Yeah. But yeah, when you're a 6 foot flyweight, I mean, what is this guy eating?
Yo.
Like how do you get that frame? Um
Yeah,
I'd
it's
love to see
nuts.
him like a month after just to see like what his balloon up it looks like.
yeah. So yeah, and looking at the whole card here, we have 3 fighters on the prelims that are all 9-0. Nurulu
Woo!
Aliyev, Magomed Godziasulov, and Jacoby Smith all coming in at 9-0. Um, so yeah, you have those kind of fights. I mean, anytime somebody's undefeated, I'm gonna want to tune in. But one of them, and we talked about this ad nauseum on multiple episodes, but Austin Bashi going up against Christian Rodriguez, that is the fight that I am the most excited to see. Um,
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
it's that is like, I don't want to say the people's main event, but it's like most people that I've talked to who are UFC fans, like that's the one that we're all excited to see because Austin Bashi making his debut 13-0 undefeated, and Christian Rodriguez, who has a reputation for stealing zeros from undefeated prospects. So I mean, it's a match made in heaven. It's exactly what you want to see. The undefeated prospect making his debut against the guy who makes it his business to stop people like that. So yeah, all things considered, I'm excited for this card, but the real, the real show that we're all waiting for is the following weekend, UFC 311, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian. I mean, you want to talk about
Oh,
wrestling?
wow, really?
Yeah,
Oh, all
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
Islam Makhachev, number one pound for pound fighter on earth, and going up against the guy who gave him his hardest matchup in the UFC a couple years ago, or what was it, 2019? So I guess 5 years ago, or
You,
when did
woo.
they fight?
The guy was 22 years old. He took it on short notice, and
Yep,
he
yeah,
gave him a real fight.
yeah. It went the distance. April 20th, 2019. Islam Makhachev versus Sarukian. Yep.
Oh yeah, 311 does look pretty gnarly.
Oh, dude,
I
it's
even
stacked.
Yeah, it's a really really good fight card. Oh,
And
we got also the Benio Dariush and Renato Moicano. That
yep.
fight. I guarantee that's gonna be fight of the night.
Yeah, I mean those are two guys who know how to throw down. You know what? A fight of the night contender though, the one right before it, Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. That is another one that could be earning them some bonus checks.
Josh, why
Uh,
do I know Kevin Hall? Who did he fight? Did he fight someone?
he fights.
Like
He's one of the most active fighters in the
I was gonna
UFC.
say,
Big Mouth.
did he fight when we did ours? That one, no way, right? That
Probably.
would
I
be
mean,
He
when
that
probably
is
did. He
That's
cries all the
only
time.
that's like less than 2 months. Because
So
Yeah,
that
how many
he looks
episodes?
so familiar.
How many episodes did we do, and when did we start doing it? Let
We
me
did we did six, and I believe it was like September, right before October.
let me see here. So video. So our first episode was 3 months ago.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see here. What was the exact date? Posted September 26th. Okay, so yes, he fought Roman Dolidze, lost to Roman Dolidze, in October on October 5th. So yeah, we would have been recording
Okay.
at that time. So
I was
yep.
gonna say, yeah, he looks so familiar.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin Holland, one of the most active guys on the roster, one of the most entertaining guys on the roster. Anytime he is on a card, the fans are going to want to tune in. He is a fans fighter. I mean,
yeah,
and
very
he's also real
popular.
life. Yeah, he's also real
Hmm.
life Batman. He's been laying low a little bit, but he had a few Batman moments
Yeah,
outside the cage.
What, he like fights crime?
Yeah. Yeah, like literally, he had I think a couple, maybe even three incidents where he stopped a criminal.
Oh
So
yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and if we're just looking at the 311 main card, I mean, when Yuri Prohaska and Jamal Hill is the feature bout, I mean, that's we're dealing with some firepower
yeah,
here. I mean, that is. I mean, you have what I love about this is we have two former light heavyweight champions, one of which is an absolute fan favorite, and the other of which is one of the most hated. So it's going to be one of those interesting matchups. Both guys have had the belt before, and on two opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of fan support. So let's see where that one goes. I mean, it's going to be a really interesting matchup. But yeah. And then
we'll be
Morocco.
there. We'll be there. We'll be there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are we going?
Of course.
You got the tickets?
Yeah, I got the tickets already. Abe
Well,
is coming.
is
So
Abe? Are we actually doing it? Because I'll get a flight if we're going.
yeah,
Wait, y'all are going to Wait, is it in Vegas?
it's
No, LA.
in LA. Oh
Oh
Lord,
wow.
how's that gonna work with
Oh yeah,
with with the fire
a lot of
that's
stuff
going
going
on
on
right
there.
now? Yeah.
I doubt they. I wonder how
Hopefully,
that
So
works.
I
hopefully
wonder
the hopefully the venue doesn't get burned to the ground.
Yeah,
I hope
where
hopefully it's cleared up
is it in the
by
Yeah,
then.
Intuit Dome?
no clue to be
Because
honest, bro.
wasn't Abe just at the Intuit? I'm
Uh
look.
I don't know.
I'm ch what the hell here?
scheduled for, yeah, it's in the Intuit Dome.
Well, that's in Inglewood. I mean, I don't know California
Yeah, I don't
geography.
know my LA Dude, LA could be its own state. I hear people talk about that place and I'm like, man, like it takes forever to get around there.
Yeah, especially with the traffic, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah, my
so
uncle used
bad,
to live
bro.
out there. It was wild. It's like a
So
different
bad.
world.
Is
Yeah,
Inglewood, California affected by the current fires in LA?
I don't think so.
No, but it might be. What if it's
Yeah,
what
I
if it
As
mean,
said
of
that?
January 9th, 2025, Inglewood, California is not affected by any active wildfires. The recent fires in Los Angeles County, such as the Palisades Fire and Eaton Fire.
Okay, so we're good.
Who's your Siri, dude? It sounds like a real person.
Oh, that was
That kind of
ChatGPT.
Okay, that kind of creeped me out. I was like, that doesn't sound like a Siri at all. It sounds like a real person.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm on the ChatGPT. I'm fully invested.
Uh, yeah, dude, there's so many AIs now.
Yeah.
Like I thought ChatGPT was the only one, but there's like so many and they all do whatever. But this isn't the AI podcast, but
I mean, I also have Grok. I like Grok too. It could do some things that ChatGPT doesn't do as well.
Grok
Like
does great images.
yeah, it does. Yeah, and it
I
also
use that
doesn't
a
yell
lot
at
for
you as
my
much.
I use that a lot for some videos sometimes just to get
Oh,
like
okay.
a like I don't know, like an image of a skyscraper or something, or like people working on a job site or something. Like I don't know.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I don't want to find the stock image or something, or we don't have the rights to a specific thing yet, so
Hmm.
that's where it comes in real handy.
Yeah, I dig Grok. It's and like even recently the image generation has gotten like way better. Like it's like I'll tell it to make like a photo of Tom Aspinall and it looks like Tom Aspinall. Like it's oh and yeah, how can we go an episode especially talking with Tanner without mentioning Tommy Aspinall? I
When
mean
you said John Jones, I was gonna slip it in, but we moved on too quick. Dude, do you think you'll ever fight him?
well, now there's this new develop
Yeah, I
he
don't
is a
know.
major
Nah,
doubter. He is
I
not
think he's a realist, actually. I think he's just realistic.
no,
all
he's
right.
not fighting
So
him.
the newest development is Joe Rogan. Now I didn't see this episode of the podcast, but I saw some posts on X and Instagram that Joe Rogan said that the $30 million figure was just a rumor and that John Jones is leaning towards retirement. Now, this might be a Tom Aspinall fan coping here, but I'm hoping that maybe they were like, "Hey, Rogan, put this out there in the conversation sphere that to just build it up more, because when it inevitably happens, it'll be like, oh, so many times we thought it wasn't going to happen, but here we go. But here we go. Listen, it's the only thing. If the UFC doesn't make this fight, it will be the biggest fumble in UFC history. This fight will make so much money that if it doesn't happen, I mean, I'll write an angry letter to Dana. I mean, what else can I do? It needs to happen.
Why
This is
wouldn't it happen? John Jones just doesn't want to do it. Is that like
yeah.
whatever
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like and again, he's his own man, he can do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to keep his undefeated
legacy?
legacy intact. I mean, hey, what am I going to tell John Jones? But I'm
Yeah.
a Tom Aspinall fan and I want to see Tom get that opportunity. I mean, I would I would rather see John Jones beat Tom Aspinall than to see them not fight at all. Because then at least I would know how it went down.
Yeah.
And this is
I,
coming,
I don't know. I think John Jones' legacy's well, this is what I've learned through watching some of like greats in other sports is you never really remember the like the last loss, really. You
mm,
remember it with the other person's legacy. Like that will help Aspinall's legacy,
mm.
for sure, obviously. But John Jones, I mean, his legacy, I think, set like
Oh, without a doubt.
the good and the
Yeah,
bad. So, but what I'm getting at is I feel like if he was like really a competitor, like really, really, like he would take it, no doubt.
I
But
agree.
I don't.
I mean,
I
he's
mean,
also smart.
yeah, no, he's
He's
smart.
also
Yeah,
smart because I mean, he's what 38 now,
Yeah, I think so.
and
yeah, he's up
due to
there.
the fact that his last fights in like in light heavyweight were way too close, especially the one with Dominic Reyes. I thought he actually lost. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think he believes he can beat Tom Aspinall, bro. If you ask me,
Yeah, Tom Aspinall's mean. He's
The
he's
best.
plus he's never ever gonna make 205, and John Jones coming out from 205, losing to guys. I mean, not losing, but getting to close decisions with 205 guys, and then you're gonna fight a 260-pound monster who can't actually wrestle and strike. No, bro, I don't think he's fighting.
Well, not what I like to hear, but I
he's a
all I can say
realist.
is
He's being realistic.
I hope it happens. I hope it happens. It would just make my career as a fan if it goes down. I mean, because then I mean, really, at the end of the day, I want to see Tom Aspinall be the undisputed champion. I don't care who he fights. As long as he is the undisputed champion, that's what I'm mainly concerned with. But I want to see him fight John Jones because I think he'll win, and then you could say that you beat the GOAT. Um, so to wrap this up, Tanner, thank you for coming on, sharing some insights about the wrestling world. Hector, thank you for joining us under some not normal circumstances. Normally we got you in the studio. Today we got you in the
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
In
yeah.
the jujitsu studio.
Yeah, right.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I'm
it.
next. I'm next.
And to anybody watching, go and check out Tanner's channel. He does an awesome job covering wrestling. We got TrueTan Wrestling A great channel, all things NCAA, wrestling breaking news shorts. I don't even watch wrestling, and I watch his shorts. It keeps you in the loop. What's going on? What's interesting? All around. You do a great job over there, Tanner. And
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Go check
So
out the documentaries too. Those are
yes,
the real passion projects, honestly.
they're awesome. I mean, it's even the trailers. It's like, man, this looks professional as
Uh,
hell.
trail trailers are fun, man.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good like Michael Bay trailer is what I call it. Just a big bang.
But yeah, so anything else before we break the bottle off the ship?
No, thanks for having me, man.
Hey, anytime if we got a wrestler coming on, anytime you want to hop on, just chop it up. We do it every week, so anytime you want, you got an open invite.
Thank you. Just let me know, man. You know me. Sometimes I totally lose what's going on in the UFC, so you just let me know.
Will do, will
Thank you.
do. And Hector, I will figure out when we're recording episode 6. But episode 5 is
course.
done. We are
Heck yeah.
it's done. And hey, and goodbye to you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
See you around, fellas.
Good night.
See you, everybody.